This is an easy way to prove to yourself how important the direction of grain is to the strength in the wood. Now the grain runs lengthwise on this piece, and with just a little bit of leverage, just the fingers, I can snap it in half. You can see how clean it breaks. Now go the other way, try and break across the grain with about 3 times the leverage, and it's much stronger, and you can see that it fractures a lot differently. When cutting a groove in the end of a mitered piece to install a spline, it's best to use a tenon jig, because there's no safe way to hold this piece through a table saw by hand. Because we can't reverse the piece and still clamp it, we adjust the blade to get it as centered as we can in a piece. Make the first cut in both sides of the joint with the pieces oriented the same way. Then we measure the joint, adjust the jig towards the fattest side, and make our cleanup cuts there to fit the spline. And again, do that in both pieces. After the first cut, try to spline in the groove, and the groove is too narrow. So we want to open the groove up a little bit, and it looks like the groove is a little bit to this side. So we'll push the jig out just a little bit, make another cut on both pieces, and check it again. After 2 cuts the size of the groove now matches the spline pretty well. It's not real tight, it's not real loose. With glue it's going to be a good tight fit. Before we start applying glue, we want to make sure that the spline fits in the joint, that the joint closes, and we can mark the spline so we can trim it a little bit. It'll make it easier to clamp. We'll save a little work later too. Now we'll just trim it on those lines with a back saw. After checking that everything fit well, we can go ahead and apply glue to the joint. We want to brush in a nice even coat of glue on all the sides of the grooves and the spline itself. Paint glue on half of it to start with. Put that in, and now we'll fit the joint together. For clamping, I like to use these woodpecker's miter clamps. And that should be all we need.